than that. Okay, second introduction, copy and consistency. Getting to the basics, by the way, for everyone that's watching recording, I just forgot to record, and we had a great 5 minutes before, a lot of people sharing great victories in their health and everything. So this is for us to learn and grow, because everyone does the same things. There are no tricks. There's just investing in people and getting really good at it. So today we jump in, and this is week number 2. But if you recall, the goal of these 6 weeks is to really learn the art form of coaching and investing in others and keeping it simple and basically being able to create predictable transformation. Not to make you the super coach guru, but to make you the master of balancing all of this and moving forward. Because basically moving forward in coaching doesn't always mean more time. It can actually mean less time the better you get at it. I remember when Ashley and I were brand new executive directors, I was literally like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then like getting organized and getting in the routine of this and getting better at it and supporting double the amount of that a few months later in less time than we were tearing our hair out. So if you're sitting here right now wondering how can I do more, is pay attention to what we're doing here. So during this series, if you're a new senior coach, and this training is really for senior coaches more and above, but if you're a newer coach, welcome. Just really stay connected with your support team and focus on the first few steps. This call will still be very beneficial for you. But if you're that newer coach, newer senior coach to associate director, the goal of this series in the next few months and the consistency you put in will be to move to executive director and beyond. For those that are already, all of you newer executive directors that have been hit, we've had a lot of new executive directors in the past few months. Your goal would be to grow to the next solid building block of your business. I'm actually going to go over that today because I've had so many questions about that. And for you guys, you strong executive directors, you big thinkers, you regional directors, you're a fully integrated business coach, the goal here would be to learn the art form of this at another level so you can teach it. And that's really what we're doing. And that's how we reach so many people here. So we're in week number 2. Week number 1, guys, I want to apologize. It went long, partly because we have so much awesome stuff that came out of convention. But part of the deal that we want to supply on Saturday mornings is consistency. So you won't see another training that goes that long. But I want to thank you all for bearing with us with all the information. We got it all out. So we got it all done. And now we actually have awesome tools that look like this. Who got their business kits this last week? Pretty awesome, right? Yeah. Sorry, dropped my bottle here. But anyways, last week was all about setting up our structure. And you guys probably wonder why we spent time not talking about anything about the stuff about changing lives. It's because it's simple. If you don't set up a structure some way, somehow, some sort, if you don't get these things in order, you can have all the greatest intentions in the world, but you won't probably help more than a few people. And even those people that can help a few people without structure, they don't last very long. So just kind of a heads up, the same things are all duplicatable and they're all predictable in this. So that's why we set this up this last week. We'll do a little bit of a review of it. But this week is my favorite, one of my most favorite topics. It's all about creating connections. So for all of you new coaches here and all of you coaches that are moving to executive director, and honestly, because you're never done for you experienced coaches, how to make endless amount of connections. It's so simple to connect with people when you really set yourself up for that. And not to mention, it just feels amazing to connect with people. I won't get into it, but we are programmed to want to connect with other human beings. So today we're going to talk about social media, bringing value, connecting authentically, and basically where the rubber meets the road, bringing it to the phone and follow up. And maybe some patented of Allison Petty, not being weird with any of this. This stuff should feel natural. We should be able to make an impact in people's lives. And this is how we get it done. So that's what we're covering this week. And we'll move into the rest of the stuff as we go through the next month. But again, another goal this month would be for you to also learn these things, but learn how we do a month, like how you run your month as a business, as a smart health coach, as someone in charge of their life. That's why we're going to show you the flow of this. So last week was all about, one, here's a reminder, because it all starts here. If you're not leading with your health, then none of this stuff really matters, because it's an authentic outpour of where you're at. A quick reminder for all of us our new coaches. It's not about being perfect. Hold on, I got to move something real quick. Hold on. There we go. All right. it's not about being perfect. It's about moving forward. So for some of you, that might be a 3 and 3, 4 and 2, being mindful, exercise, 5 and 1. But wherever you're at, what I encourage you guys, if you're all in for this month, because this training is for coaches that want to move forward, that want to help more people, that want to see success because it is predictable. I would say heads up, straight up this month. If you haven't started, start today. Go all in with your health to whatever the next level is for you. So that's what I'm doing. And when you do that, you just outpour to yourself. So I would like to, if you guys, as I'm going through this, open up the chat. I'd love to hear from you guys. What are you focusing on? One thing you're doing to take your health to the next level. Open up the chat. I want to hear it so we can kind of see some different ideas of that. Just in one point alone, just what are you doing to take your health to the next level over this month? We'll see it here pour in for a second. 3 and 3, adding healthy motion, exercise every day, 5 and 1. I love it. Great job. So going in here this last week, so the last things we did here, I can't wait to look back at the chat on this, is we focused on leading with our health. We focused on our map and how to set it up. And by the way, I just want to congratulate you guys all. We did the action step of connecting with your support team like Annie and Antonio talked about. It's so key. I literally, I was booked up all weeks with people taking action and creating vision for their business. So congratulations. Last week we talked about getting your hundreds list set up. So these are all things that you hopefully have with you today. And if not, as soon as this call is over, do these things because you can't move forward, honestly, without these things. There's patterns of success and everyone does these same things. Next thing is have your health assessment sheets printed out and your success finder. And lastly, get your schedule dialed in with check-in day, backup day, like a follow-up day for your clients and power hour blocks, trainings and habits of health calls. So that's literally what we covered last week, and I'm going to come back to the rest of this. So with that being said, we talked a lot about setting up our structure to be able to move forward. So I wanted to bring on someone this week to kind of recap that before we get into the whole connections part. And that person is April. April, are you with us this morning?
I am, Brad. Thanks.
So I want to brag on April real quick here. So one, new fully integrated business coach. Congratulations. She is like a rock star at supporting her team. But one thing I want to brag on April, just into the whole point of this. And by the way, as we go through here, everyone that trains on this call runs well over 10,000 in frontline volume. You're literally hearing from the doers that do. So it's the authentic of the authentic. And props to April. Last few months, she's won the award for the highest frontline volume in our whole business. If that gives you an idea. So for all you people like, oh, I don't have a partner that does this with me, or whatever excuse you want to have, there are no excuses. You can do whatever it is you want. But I want to brag on April. It's really good because April, you went executive director the first time during a series just like this. And then kind of as a heads up, you stayed executive director for a long time. Not to we've all been there, but 6,001 for quite a few months of doing that. And then you connected with Lori and I, and we started putting some pieces together that really helped things break loose. And all of a sudden, your business started to grow. And, everything just happens in next steps. And you follow the next steps, and your business has exploded over the last few months. So share with people some today, because I know what you really did is, one, you were beyond intentional. You do lead with your health, but you really got your schedule dialed in. So would you share with everyone here, as they're kind of getting their structure set up, what are some things that you did? So I think everyone here is saying, I want to do what April did. I want to change my health. I want to be able to get structured like that. Will you share some of the tangible things that you really moved to be non-negotiable and put rocks in your schedule, and the things you basically made happen to create where you're at today, and what changed for you?
Thanks, Brad. Okay, first of all, gosh, I want to give a shout out to my team, because I'll tell you, it was exciting to make FIBC, but what's more exciting was to see my coaches move forward and to see their growth. So I'm just really looking forward to getting them to FIBC also. So that's the very first thing I'd like to say. But, really the whole thing boiled down to action and consistency for me. So like you said, the very first time I made ED, it was a boot camp like this. I never didn't make it after that, but that's because I really paid attention to what all the action steps were, and then I actually did them. So what a concept. Um, anyway, so a couple of the action steps that I do every single month is, first of all, I connect with my support team, with Brad and Lori. I get my map in either the 30th of the 31st of the month, or no later than the 1st of the month. And then I also check in with them mid-month too, to see where we are. I start my day every morning on Facebook. I'm just very intentional about what I'm doing on Facebook. I honestly don't spend more than 5 to 10 minutes on it. I'm not looking at people's videos or, doing things like that, cat videos and stuff, even though I have cats. And then I check my Be Slim report every single morning. So I just know for sure where everybody is, etc. In the olden days, when I didn't do that, sometimes things got away from me, and now things don't get away from me. This is big. This is the biggest thing I did. Okay, we always say action. Well, here's the deal. My mentors told me over and over again to do a client support day, to have a client support day. I was all over the place. I was supporting my clients all over the place. So what I did is I actually took action. I didn't just write down, oh, Brad and Lori say to do this. Then I actually did it. So I have a client support day that, and it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't answer, it doesn't matter. I've checked in with them. They know that I'm there for them. I have a client support day. Okay. Did I say that again? I had a client support day. Okay. I also, this was also huge for me because when I first started this, I had 3 jobs. So I thought I was really, really, really busy. It's like, how am I going to do this? And honestly, working with Lori, she helped me see that I needed to have a paper calendar in addition to my iPhone calendar. And so what I did was I still put everything in my iPhone, everything. However, the rocks in my schedule are on my paper calendar. So the rocks on my schedule are Saturday morning calls, Wednesday habits of health calls, my client support day, the day that I have to turn my map in, the day that I'm going to review my map with my mentors. When I have coach calls, I have those in my paper calendar so that I know that those are non-negotiable. That's when I'm going to do these things. So basically, and then, someone mentioned I just started browsing Optavia Learn. Super excited about that. But basically, like I said, everything boils down to action and consistency. So thank you very much, Brad.
No, super awesome. April, so you're super intentional. So many good things there. I mean, you were busy, so it's not about time. You said consistent. You connect with your support team first and mid-month, and you do your map. You plan out your stuff. You start. You're intentional with Facebook. You touch your business every single day, and you have a client support day. And then what did you say about just for follow-up? Like, what do you do to you have pockets of time for when you follow up on your connections with people?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have a day. Well, for me, it's Friday. For everybody, it might be different. But my hundreds list, I think if that's what you're talking about, like the people that I have talked to in the past that have not yet become clients, I have a day, a rock in my schedule where I follow up with people. And, early on also, I did not really keep track of who I had talked to because, they're good friends or something. You think you're going to remember. You don't remember, especially after you've been doing this for a while. So, I love the new client health assessment form. I am following that to the letter when I'm talking to someone and when my coaches are talking to someone. I mean, that is huge. So I've got my client health assessments. I'm on the back of it. It's where you take the notes for when you're following up with people. So every pre-client has a client health assessment filled out also.
Awesome stuff, April. And I think it's easy to see, you put those rocks in and it just started to grow. It didn't happen magically overnight, but you went from barely making ED to running some of the highest frontline volume, really, really good paycheck, by the way. You were able to eliminate those jobs all because of the steps you took. So congratulations and great tips. It's predictable. Everyone does the exact same thing that is going to be training you on this call. So let's get moving back on the next things here because, oops, I keep clicking on the wrong thing here. So you guys like that? Like, it was very pretty. And I remember that conversation. She was like, oh, 6,000. Laura and I were on the phone. We're like, hey, April, because she was subbing all over the place. She was all over the place. April, you know you were, so it's okay. And you'd say it, you said it yourself. We said, hey, could you possibly not sub one day? And we showed you the income that you could make on that, and you chose one day to start getting consistent. Start with one day, and that will, you quickly, very like that day paid for itself. And now this is where you're at. And now you're not even subbing anymore. You got rid of that really unhealthy job you had. So consistency and small effort. It didn't take more time. It just took more dialed in. So that's the stuff we covered last week. And so to give you an idea, this is what the schedule looks like from someone that's really taking advantage of this, someone moving to executive director. Your schedule might look different, but this is actually, for all intents and purposes, mine that creates the building blocks. 15 to 30 minutes of intentional connections at some point during the day. April said she touches her business every single day and she's intentional on social media. So plug that in. Touch your business, check Office in Motion. We all pee a lot, so smartphones are awesome. This all shouldn't add stuff to your day. So you know what? Go pee, check your business, and be a CEO on the throne. Sorry for being too real on that one. The other thing is, like, look at these pockets of time here. I want you guys to see that this doesn't take a lot of time. So for me, the clarity of understanding the schedule is when people reach out to me, I know when and where I'm available. So I have these locked and loaded in my schedule. Leadership call at Monday at 5 p.m. That does actually not oversee me getting someone healthy. If someone wants to get healthy during that time, you better believe I'm watching the recording, not watching the leadership call. I have my check-in days. Do them whenever works for you. I do mine on Tuesday, 2 to 3, every single, 2 to 3 hours, 3 to 6. And I'm usually doing other calls or things during that time, but that's my pocket. I don't miss it. Consistency is the key. And then 5:30, I catch the health huddle or the habits of health call. As well as that's also my backup day. It's very important to have a backup day. We are young parents. We have a large business. Sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes stuff hits the fan. So it's really good to have that, like, oh crap day, backup day. And that consistency for your clients, which we'll get to later, makes a big difference. But I also know that my Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are my best days. If someone reaches out and says, oh, hey, I'm ready to talk, cool. Like Monday, like if it's Sunday, cool. You want to talk tomorrow? Or I know when my time is available. I don't need to think about it. But plus, if you get really good at shares like we go over, it shouldn't be a big deal. This Thursday, I got a referral. Someone asked if I was available that day. Looked at my schedule. Hey, not a big deal. 2:30 work for you? They happened to work at 2:30. We connected, started them. It was a small pocket of my day. I did that on the fly as well. I also do follow-up Friday. So 1 hour or whatever works for you, whenever time during the week, schedule that in. And then training Saturday morning. Don't miss it. If you guys want a heads up, the people that are on trainings grow and the ones that aren't, don't. That's just really how it is. Like, I'll give you the stats. I love stats, and just show me someone that's growing, and I'll show you all these core fundamentals in their schedule. So hopefully this is helpful for you. You don't need to copy mine, but very similar, April. I made mine on here, and very similar. You said all the things, and just as a heads up, I didn't tell April what to say today. I know that she just does these things very well, and I actually specifically said, just share what you do, and then just share it. So very funny that we all do the exact same thing. And how do you make the most of that schedule? Is by having that map. So if you haven't done a map, or you've been resisting to it, or it just looks like it's too much, connect with your support team and realize what this really is. This is a game changer for you changing lives. You need a hundreds list. April mentioned that. That's what we're going to be going over today. One thing I want to run through really quick before I turn it over to the whole connection point of the main point of this training is I've had questions over and over and over this last week of like, oh, how do I build? What do I do? How do I do all these things? So I'm going to go over something really quick, and I want you guys to write this down because, again, I like just being open and giving people the facts. The people that understand this make the most money, change the most lives. Boom. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, that's real right there. And so there's no secrets. And if you're newer, don't try to be overwhelmed by this. I just want you to start to soak this in, just like anything and being around the community. There are 2 building blocks of this business and changing lives. One is frontline volume, which means you're changing people's health. So for every 1,200 in frontline volume, you earn a point. You'll hear us talk about points, and it's basically these are building blocks of your business. The other building block of points is for a senior coach team. So helping someone come on and move forward in their coaching. Those are the two building blocks, 2 points. So what I want to show you here is there is an easy path to take with your coaching. And it's honestly really amazing. And probably the only thing that is a problem is we shortchange it. So I'm going to do this really quickly. If you have questions, come back and watch this. But the first building block of being a successful coach is bringing on your first 7 to 8 clients. And really what that is, it's more than senior coach. It's really more like manager, $700 to $800 a month. That's what we want people coming in and doing very quickly. Boom. You got real people getting healthy. You have experience. You've never health coached before. So now you're learning this with your support team. Step number 2 after that, there's ranks in between, but none of them really matter. It's all about moving to executive director. That's the next step. So if you're not moving to executive director, I'm not really sure what we're doing here, to be honest. I mean, we're all changing lives, but I just want you to know, like, very clear path. When you know where you want to go, the people's lives that will change become very clear, and it just starts to happen. Kind of like April. She had the intention of growing bigger. She didn't know how she was going to do it, but all of a sudden these lives started opening up. So the next point is executive director. That's the second step. You can do it by clients, like here at the bottom. You can do it all clients, 17 to 18. You can do it by a combination of that and a senior coach team, because you can do it by points. Executive director is 5 points. Or you can do it by a few clients and a few senior coach teams, whichever one works for you. There's no right path. It's whatever. We want you guys to be the owners of your own life. So there's no wrong way. Just take action and build people changing their lives. What's cool here, income average, about $1,500 to $2,500 a month for hitting executive director. Pretty awesome. I remember when we first made executive director and what our paycheck was. I was like, holy cow, we get paid this? Like, really get paid this for changing lives? It's incredible. The next building block, and this is why I'm covering this, is most people get lost. The next building block after ED is called FIBC, Fully Integrated Business Coach. Basically, it means that you have over 6,000 in frontline volume. You're supporting at least 18 or more clients. You're actually changing health. There's no shortcuts in this business. You got to do the work. And you have at least 5 or more senior coach lines of business. And please don't aim at senior coach. We don't want to aim at bare minimum. If you bring on a partner, you help them move forward. You don't just, April, you and FIBC this last month, you weren't just trying to get people over the line as senior coach. You were partnering with your amazing partners to help them move forward in their business. Income here, pretty awesome. $4,000 to $7,000 a month. Not joking. This is real life income, and you get to do this from anywhere. So why am I covering this today? Well, one, because that was like the same question I got like all week long. But when you understand how to build, you understand how to change lives, and you understand how to move forward. The problem is most people get lost in the smiley face between ED and this rank right here. So I want to show you guys something very important today. Oh, by the way, the reason why you go FIBC is the 4th step is to go global director. And that means that those 5 lines of business have moved forward and are making a great income and impacting lives. I just pulled the real income range from our team alone. But our average income between for global directors on our personal team is between $10,000 and $35,000. That's real life incomes, you guys. So again, something we talked about in the very beginning is it doesn't matter where you're at. You're not a success. You're not just a success when you reach global director or whatever. Success is what you achieve every step along the way. You actually tend to continue to move forward because you realize your success in the moment. So just remember that you're a success right now. You're changing lives. You're on your health journey. That's how you get there. So why do I cover all that? Because most people get lost between step 2 and step 3 because there's not a smiley face in between. So between this point right here, if you are not executive director yet, your goal during this series is to move to executive director. And here's a heads up. You won't be able to do it unless you learn the steps that we cover on how to help people. It becomes very simple when you pay attention. So if you're a new ED, your next second step A, is for you to up your frontline volume. Bring more people into your funnel of getting healthy, more referrals, more potential people that want to pay it forward. Increase your income and bring on your first 1 to maybe even 3 coaches. Nothing gigantic, small gains over time, more lives being impacted. That is your next goal. If you're an executive director on this line, you should be hungry for this right here, because it's not more time, but it is more income and it's more lives being changed. The next step after that, second step B, is to move up to 10,000 frontline volume and bring on a few more senior coach legs of business and help them move forward. So by this time, you're probably going to regional director or, getting close to integrated. So if you're at any point on one of these are your next few steps. So I wanted to show you guys this because so many people get lost at just hitting ED because that's all they know they need to do. They don't know how to build these things because we don't spell it out. So these are the next few steps if you're there. If you're not ED yet, go executive director. If you are executive director, bring on more people, help your first few awesome partners. If you already have that, move to 10,000 frontline volume, bring on your rock stars, help them move forward to ED. That's how you move to fully integrated business coach and then global director. So I cover all that today to give you guys, you now know everything that you need to know. And you don't need to believe you can do it or think you're good enough. Heck, this is my example. I told Dr. A straight up after our first convention, he's like, oh, hey, you going to do this? Because I ran into him as we were leaving, and Ashley will laugh because I literally was like, oh, Dr. A, you don't understand. We're young. We don't know anybody. It literally doesn't matter if you do the steps. All you have to do is have a heart to help people. And so that's what I want to share with you today. So with that being said, I want to move in to our next training today because it really just comes down to making connections. So now that you know the structure, now that you know what it takes to build that and how simple it is and what it looks like, this is what it's all about, is making endless connections. So I'm going to bring Dawn and her team of people to share literally how to make connections. So Dawn, are you there?
I am, Brad. I'm loving this morning. Thanks for just laying that all out so clearly. So I just want to little side note, if you're brand new and you were like, oh my gosh, what does that all mean? Don't worry about it. Just focus on what that next step is for you. And most importantly, connect in with your mentor. Loved that Tim and Kelly were in the chat saying, don't do this alone. Connect in with your mentor. Denise said when she saw this, she was like, oh my gosh, okay, and went ED in 3 weeks. So it's not a race. It's just about doing the simple steps every day. So
can I say something to that real quick? Is what I just want to say, because again, through Coffee and Consistency, we want to give you every tool you need to be successful in coaching. And I did hit on that you are a success at every level. That is key. We had so many presidential directors speak from stage, and I guarantee to you, they were a success when they were a new senior coach. They saw their success when they were a manager, when they were ED. They saw success. You're not successful because you will become a presidential. You're successful everything along the way. So one tool I want to give you all, don't compare yourself to anyone here. I'm being a little bit bold today. I'm just going to just truth speak to you. If you spend 1 second thinking about what other people are doing or comparing yourself to other people, that's lives you're wasting time that you could be changing. So one thing that Ashley and I would really encourage, and we really did a decent job at and learn the hard way, is we learn to not compare, just take action. So now that you know the steps and we're giving you the goods, let's just go do it. It's either going to happen fast or slow. So sorry, I don't know if I want to take the thing back from you, but is that Tom, because I know you know that's so true.
Boom. Yes. All right. So who'd like to know how to do that? What to do? How to make these endless connections? Well, Allison's pulling up the screen to screen share the next section of our PowerPoint here. Just excited that Allison gets to kind of join us today and bring some more just truth and realness of what she's doing. Gotta say, this girl is in Big Sky right now, rocking it as a mom and a mobile mom, kind of what we were talking about. We were having fun last night putting this PowerPoint together in the hot tub. Not joking. That's how fun this is. But we're going to talk about connecting and creating clients, and not just as you're brand new, but having that continual connection of people. You know how Brad was talking about having this endless flow of people coming into your world that you can help. And so you guys have the tools. We're going to go over how to do that, what to say, how to create those connections, create those friends, those relationships, and then most importantly, how to take that to a phone call or a conversation where you can learn more. So I'm going to let Allison take it away, and we're just going to kind of go through this over the next few minutes and really get real and show you guys what it looks like and how to actually do it.
Hey, can I say one thing in here real quick? To this is we're going to get into like support, and a lot of people are like, okay, they talked about structure. Now we're talking about making connections. How do I be a really good health coach? A really good health coach and integrated clients start with this exactly right here. Structure to support it, but also it all happens before they ever even really start programs. So I'm excited for Allison because Allison does this extremely well. So take it away, Allison.
Hey y'all, thanks for letting me chat this morning. And yes, I am in Big Sky, which if y'all don't know where that is, it's Big Sky, Montana. But I also have kind of a wonky connection. So if I slow down a little bit, just, I don't know, raise your hand or just stay tuned. One of my favorite things I like chatting about because when we all first started, I don't know if this was inherent for everyone, at least for me. It's just kind of evolved and grown over time as I've learned how to really share and grow my community, because that's what it's all about, is building a community of like-minded people on Facebook or on social media. So the tools to help you with that, of course, are your map and then your hundreds list. And then we'll also go through how to kind of use your time a little wisely, utilizing those tools. Ooh, this won't let me go through. I don't know what's happening here, but I can't change my slides. So hang on a sec.
Allison, I think if you click on it and then click forward, anyways, I've got the slide.
I don't know why it won't let me. It did earlier.
But what I love, you guys, is that so everybody has your list, right? As you get started, you create a list. Those are the people that are on your heart. Allison's going to kind of go through how, like, kind of really doing a mind dump. And you know what? If you're brand new or senior coach and just kind of getting started, you have a fresh list that you've just made, but I make my list every month. Brad, you add to your list. It is a continual, growing, living document that I am constantly adding people to. I'm constantly, reaching out and creating those connections. And it's literally everybody. So Allison is going to talk about kind of how do you not only continue adding to that list, but how do you prioritize, like, who to reach out to first, right? Like,
I'm going to do it this way. How about that?
Hey, Allison, share your screen real quick. I'll show you what to do.
You got it.
Am I not shared screen?
Go ahead and click it full screen, the PowerPoint you had before.
Oh, I don't know. Look, if I hit slideshow right there and then do from beginning.
Yep.
That's usually, well, then the space bar. It worked that time. See? Magical.
Hey, girl.
I know.
Connect with your support team. It's so crazy.
Right? Totally. What is happening here? Okay, so anywho, hundreds list, y'all. This thing is a lifesaver, especially when you're first starting, because what this did for me is it really helped me connect with the people who I'm friend requesting or people on Facebook, and then it's given me some action steps. So if y'all aren't using your hundreds list, you're really kind of missing out. And so do connect with your support team and ask them how to utilize this in the best way possible, and continuously come back to it so that you know that you're connecting with people in a specific way and that you're doing these action steps. Okay, so as far as the hundreds list goes, has everyone seen Dan Valentine's video? Everyone? No one? If you haven't, then do connect with your support team. It's an amazing video, and what it does is it shows you how powerful the hundreds list can be, and then it'll help you learn how to use it. So definitely do that. And what the hundreds list is truly all about is for us as health coaches being able to realize who's ready right now, who are the people we have permission to talk with and to ask, hey, do you want to learn about what I'm doing? So it's going to help you break down those people of who's ready now, who might be ready later, and who do we really need to love on and build that relationship with. And so the last thing that it's going to let you do is, as you continuously add people to it, it's going to show you where you need to kind of put your energy in growing a relationship with people. Because y'all, this business, it really is about relationships. I like to tell people that when I first started health coaching, I seriously had like 60 friends on Facebook, and I was very private. And I think the number one thing about being with Optavia and being a health coach for me personally has been that hundreds list has really allowed me to step outside of my fear and outside of my box and genuinely connect with people. Like, I have friends who I haven't and we're friends on Facebook, and I love their kids and I watch them progress, and it's all because that hundreds list helped me learn how to grow that relationship. Okay, so as far as social media goes, y'all, it's not the end all tell all. If you have 5 million friends on Facebook, it's not going to get you anywhere if you really don't have an authentic presence and if you're not connecting with people in an authentic way. So just for example, today, there's a girl that I went to high school with. I don't even remember her. I really don't. She's a beautiful girl. She posts a lot of yummy, healthy recipes. And over the last 4 or 5 years, she and I go back and forth and we talk, and we're kind of friends, even though I really don't remember her at all. But anyway, she recently went through a divorce. Her child's in high school. She just started her own business, and she has a new boyfriend now. And I know all of this because of social media. Isn't that cool? Like, we're really friends. And I really feel in my heart that we really are friends because I've
Did Allison freeze for everybody else too? Okay. I'm just checking that it's not my internet. Dang, and she was saying something so good. That's the awesome part about we can work from anywhere, and big resorts like that, you've got wonky Wi-Fi. I'll pick up where she left off, and if she comes back in, we'll let Allison take it over. Except I'm not going to be able to move the slide forward.
Hey, Dawn, you have the PowerPoint, right? Do you want to just share?
I sure do. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me share it.
I think her computer died. But what's cool is, hey, Dawn, do you know, you probably do all the exact same things she was sharing on, because we all do the exact same thing. So.
Heck yeah. Can you guys see my PowerPoint?
You're
good.
Good?
I am back. I don't know if you trust me or not to share because I am in Big Sky, but.
You're back. Let's just pick it up from here, but I'll share the slides. So.
Okay.
Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
If I cut out again, right? Where was I?
You said you feel like you guys are really friends now, and how awesome is that? That it's because you guys have been connecting.
Totally. Yeah. So just continually love on people. I mean, we all hear that in all of these trainings and with our friends, and it really is our mission. I want to work with people who feel like they know me and that they're comfortable with me. So I live out loud, I'm real, but social media will only get you so far if you're not making authentic relationships and connections. So liking, commenting, posting, it's all good. Thing is when people reach out and want to know, what the heck are you doing, girlfriend? That's when we really want to take it to the phone and make that a real connection too. Oh, it's you. I'm not sharing anymore.
I got you back, girl.
Right. Okay. So I feel like I've already done this. So how to take it to a call when in, oh, wait. We'll back up. Take it from a call from social media. Some of the best things to do are, hey, I'd love to share with you what I'm doing. Let's chat for a few minutes. And then my phone number's this. What's yours? And I have time at 3:00 today. Does that work for you? That really serves me well, and it really moves things into a conversation. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is what to say when taking it towards help. Something that's really worked for me when I connect with old friends or people who don't know what I do, and I learned this from Tiffany Howard, is to really, when you're doing a message and you're going back and forth, hey girl, how are you? Have a little bit about yourself, and then in the middle, life is great. I've recently lost 40 pounds. I feel amazing. And I'm able to play with my kids more, or whatever feels you. But other than that, I'm in Big Sky this weekend, and me and my kids are running around, and I'm trying to keep up with them, and life is good. What's new with you? That's been kind of fun for me, because if someone's looking for help, they're going to ask you. And if they're not, then it's just a normal conversation. But sometimes it turns into, what? Hold up, wait a minute. And then that's when you're like, oh, girl, we can talk about it. And it's not just specific to girls, boys too. Let's chat on the phone. My number's this. I'd love to catch up with you. And of course, I can share with you what I'm doing. So that makes it really real and authentic. And so in person, how many of y'all have had someone stop you in the grocery store and be like, what are you doing? I see all your posts on Facebook. I've had that happen a lot. And so what I used to do a few years ago is I would sit there and tell them all about it, and in the grocery store while I'm holding my milk and my kids are running around. And that doesn't really serve us well. So what really has worked for me is to say, oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited. I'd love to chat with you. Let's chat on the phone later when my kids are in bed, or whatever you can do to chat with them on the phone. Being in person is okay too, but I find that the phone works best because I can kind of be in control of the conversation. But whatever feels real and authentic to you is the best. Slide, please. So here's some great examples of a brand new health coach who was able to go senior coach in just a few hours. If y'all want to screenshot this, you can, because I'm going to move through these pretty quick. But with the preface that don't just copy and paste this. This worked for her because it was real for her. You know, if you make it real for you, y'all, it's going to work. You're going to be able to connect authentically with people because it's real. If you're faking it, or if you're copying and pasting, it's not real. People see through that stuff. How many of y'all have gotten a message on Facebook? Hello, I'm having an Usborne or Usborne. I don't even know what the books are. I'm having a party tonight. Would you like the link for it? It's going to be fun. No, I don't want the link. What about what's up? How are you? I'm loving these books. Anywho, next slide, please.
Allison, just really quick on this. So this is a brand new coach that you helped get started. And just like you said, a post on Facebook's not the end all be all, but this was just a really great thing. It was the next step for her. So she'd had her list. She had reached out to the people who were ready. Okay. So when you make your list, you're going to have a couple different areas of people. You're going to have the people that you have talked with about health. You're going to have the people that are just in your everyday world, maybe your best friend who's your running partner, or the person that you've been working on and talking about health with. Those are the people you can reach right out to, because they might be a little upset if they saw on Facebook that you got healthy and were living this amazing life and forgot to tell them. So this happens to be Holly. She had reached out to those people and you guys had chatted, right? She did a great job of connecting you on the phone so that she could do those share calls with you. Then she was like, all right, I think I'm ready to put something on Facebook. She connected with you and you just said, you know, share what is important to you or what you're really excited about. She happened to just put this up, no picture, no anything. That's fine. A lot of times we do put a picture. I'm going to share an example next of a new coach, Casey, who decided to put a picture up. But what she did, you guys, is she didn't just put it out there. She took the time to follow the likes and follow the comments. So the picture that you have here, Allison, is her post, 35 pounds gone forever in just 6 weeks. Want to know how I can hook you up? That might be her voice, okay? I personally wouldn't post that, but that is Holly's voice. Like the people in her world were like, dang, you can see there's already 50 comments. And I think you probably took this screenshot like a couple hours later. Anyways, what she did was she took the time as people were commenting, whoop, proud of you, you know, all these things. She took the time to respond to each person and say, oh my gosh, thanks, I'll send you a PM, so that everybody felt really taken care of. And then if you look over on the right, this is just an example of how Holly connected people to Allison. Really authentic, really real. Hey, I want to introduce you to my coach, Allison. You know, let's hop on and connect and chat about it. Just like you're introducing them to a friend. So I love this example because this is an example of following the comments and following the likes. And Amber's going to share in a little bit how kind of, as she's been a coach for a couple of years, continuing to do that, following the comments and the likes, brings those people into your world. You're adding all of those people to your hundreds list. And then on your follow-up day, guess what? You get to kind of follow up and give them a love tap. So I will advance the slide. This is Casey. So another example of a really new coach, just super excited. She's so stoked about her total transformation. So she decided to put a picture up, and she had a little blurb just about how she had come to Dallas, met some amazing people, gone on kind of a health and wellness retreat, and that she was so amazed by the transformations possible that she couldn't wait to come home and just share it with others. So this is an example of a post that she put up, a picture and just really few words. But what happened was she had like 99 comments, and she took the time to go through and connect with each person. So these are just examples of how she connected those people to me in a three-way message on Facebook, and we set up calls because it's all about connecting authentically, being real, being you, and then taking it to an actual conversation where you can learn more about that person. Because it's really common to want to share more on messaging than actually getting into conversation in person. And just, I can tell you after 7 years of doing that, okay, I shared way too much with people on social media, and you know what? Never got to really create that relationship because we'd already set the tone on Messenger. So some of those people never really wanted to connect with me in person. Like even if they became clients, they were much more of the texting, Facebook messaging, because that was the tone I set for that relationship in the beginning. So as you're thinking of what's the tone you want to set for these relationships that you're building, you want to set the tone of connecting in person, of those phone calls where you really find out what's important to them and you partner with them, right? Instead of giving them information. So these are just some examples. And I just have to say, I've done lots and lots of calls with Casey, and she's got some really excited people coming into our Optavia world who see what we're all about. They really get a feel for the fact that this is community and this is about doing it together. So anyways, I'm excited. I want to bring Amber off to share real quick, someone who has been a coach for a little while. So this is for all of you who are new EDs, or maybe you're growing to ED, or you're at where Brad was sharing, you're at that, 6,000 to 7,000 frontline volume, but you're ready to take that next step. What's next? Where do you start? What does that look like? And so Amber, if you can come off and just share a little bit of how you've been rocking this over the last couple of months. And girl, when you started going live and doing these things, I mean, we are on share calls. We are celebrating people. I mean, things are really getting exciting in your world.
Good morning, Dawn. Thanks for letting me jump on. I'm super excited to chat with you guys this morning. So a lot of what's been covered is what I finally figured out as I was growing and am still perfecting, even moving forward. But I want to just share some really simple tips with you that will hopefully speak to you. I think first thing is, Brad put a question in the chat about how many of you have to know what you do. And I am still guilty of that at times. It takes time to stop doing that. But one thing that I will tell you that helps with it is to remember that it's not about me. It's not about what we've done. It's really about what other people want for their own lives and what they want to create. And so as you're posting and sharing things, it's very simple to connect with people if you approach it as being in service of someone else. And that's really what this is about. So just some examples for you. It doesn't have to be complicated, but I posted a picture of these three awesome ladies that had lost several hundred pounds combined. And people were liking and commenting on that. And I reached out to somebody who I met at a kids expo. I don't really know her. We became Facebook friends there. And I met her a year and a half ago. So I've kind of been, liking her posts, commenting, trying to get to know her. She seems like a really neat person. So I really just want to know her. And at the time I didn't know a lot of people in my area. So I was making new friends. But she liked the post. And so you can see on here what I responded to her. All I did was I thanked her for liking the post, because I put those up because they inspire me, and then I was glad that it inspired her too. And the conversation just sort of went naturally from there. She's looking to do something. She's not sure what, and so I wanted to chat with her to find out how I can best serve her. And so I asked her when we could do that. She said, well, I'm really busy. Can you send me a link? Right? Which happens a lot, but we know that a website's not going to actually serve anybody. It's not going to help anybody figure out what their goals are, why they want to get there, how we can help them get there. It just tells them kind of the basics of a little bit of what we offer, but it's not the heart of our business. And so I sent her over our 3-minute video that talks about what we're all about as Optavia. And I sent that one because, we have some other great videos that do a more extensive share with people. But after she just told me how busy she was, I wasn't going to ask for 15 minutes of her time. I asked for 3 minutes. So it's knowing, who you're talking to and what they're looking for, and making sure that you're respecting what it is that they're asking. So thanks, Denise. Bingo. I love that. So be mindful of that. When we're talking about social media, yeah, it's not the end all be all, but it is a really fun way for people to see what you're about. So if you feel like there's people that are in your world, whether it's your tangible world or your social media world, that don't really understand what you do as a health coach, that's on you, right? And there's some things that you can do to be better at that. So what I've started doing when I go live, those 2 crazy screenshots that Dawn put up of me were some live videos I did last week when I did my client celebration calls. And I had some clients that just had amazing wins. And you guys have all had people share with you really beautiful personal stories. Well, I went on live and I told people what my clients had for wins. And that's all that I did in that live video. But I want people to see that, those are the things that we get to celebrate in our community. And sometimes I think we maybe take it for granted because we hear these wonderful transformation stories every day, but the general public doesn't get to see that level of positivity in their day. So sharing little snippets of that. So truly, it's posting, sharing your life. I share my kids, my family. I share what I have for dinner. I do a lot on Instagram. I was very resistant to that. I finally jumped into that. My Instagram drives people to Facebook. Facebook drives people back to Instagram. Instagram's fun because if you're not ready to do a live video, you can do a really cool photo and put that on Instagram and share that and give people that snapshot of what's going on in your world. But follow the likes and comments, touch every single one of them. So everybody that likes or comments should get a message from you. Thanks for liking that. Thanks for commenting. That means a lot to me, or I'm sure that means a lot to that person. I'll share with them that you liked their story. But, continue to touch them on your follow-up Friday, right? Sorry to be a broken record, but it really does work. Follow-up Friday works. And it's just giving people a little bit of love when they need it. And that way you will, even after, I've been coaching 3 years. After 3 years, I have not run out of people to talk to and to share with and to support in their goals. So that's what I got for you this morning.
Amber, thank you so much for sharing just how simple it is and real you can be, and just have fun. Love your live videos. And I love that you actually take the time to follow the likes, follow the comments, and create those real relationships and those conversations. So follow up, and this is where we're wrapping up, you guys, is that how often you follow up. You've heard people talk about follow-up Friday. What do you say? I like to think of what we do, like you guys, we get to hear why people want to start their journeys. That's what we do. And when you're doing a share with someone or you're listening to them, you're finding out what it is that's important to them. And that is important. And that is something that we get to stand up for and remind them of. And so on follow-up Fridays, those are love taps. Those are like, hey, what you shared with me or what we got to talk about a little bit that you said you wanted to do, you wanted to play with your kids more. You wanted to fit back into, that dress you feel confident in. You want to get down on your medications. Those things are important. I can't wait for those things to be part of your story. And I'm here for you when you're ready. I'm going to check in with you from time to time. I'm going to continue to check and see how you're doing and provide some value. So those are things of what to say. I hope that you guys, this has been helpful. Allison, boom. Thank you for sharing just some real talk on what it looks like to create your list, to figure out who you're talking to first, to connect on social media so that it pulls those people into your world and it'll cause them to reach out. It'll cause them to like or comment, and then we can follow up and then gently guide that to the phone. Because you know what, if we're not talking to people and hearing what they want, then that's our job. That's what we're here for. So it's not magic, it's consistency. Brad, I'm going to kick it back to you, but have loved the chat. You guys, clearly this is speaking to some people. You are muted, Brad.
And that's why we always have support. All right, guys, here's why we wrap up here. Great stuff, you guys. This is why we do it. It's practice makes perfect. Is people think success is easy. It takes work. You got to do the work. But it is fun. It is simple. When you get things in place, it becomes easier. It doesn't have to be like the middle line. It can be like the far right line. So just remember that consistency makes the difference. This is the essence of what we're doing here. So here's, as we wrap up, here's the action steps. I want to recap with anything we talked about today. Endless connections. Guys, connecting with people is so easy. Set up your stuff, do the work, connect. Here's the last thing that I want you guys to take away from everything Allison, Amber, and Dawn shared. Be bold and be confident. Everyone out there needs what we have. You know it, you live it, you know other people want it too. Don't think about yourself, think about other people and be bold. Did you hear how Allison was like, oh, she wasn't like, she didn't do her padded like, I don't want to be weird. Just someone asked you, boom, I feel great. I found this program that works for me. Why do you ask? Or like blah, blah, blah. Don't be weird. Don't make it about yourself. Make connections, track the connections. You're living health. People want that. It's going to happen faster or slower. That's really the only two options. So live your health out. Social media is super helpful for it, but basically make connections in real life and be bold about what you have. Someone asks a weird comment like, oh, really, you do that? Heck yeah, I do that. Changed my life. Heck yeah, I use this. People follow people that are confident, and you guys have health journeys. In case you haven't wondered, what we do is incredible. So that's where I leave you at today. Action steps for this week for those that are following along. If you haven't yet, create and add it to your 100s list. Here's the only 2 simple steps, and these are short videos. Watch Dan Valentine's video if you didn't watch it last week, and then watch Dawn, who you heard from today, the amazing Susan LaBelle, and Megan Valentine's short little video on all the basics about connecting and living out loud. Watch them. They are gold. If you haven't, have your health assessment and your success binder set up. These are, like the new binder is amazing. If you haven't, create and execute that schedule. You saw it. Every single person has these bases. Checkup day, backup day, follow-up day, power hour, and blocks of connection time. Trainings and habits of health call. Blocks for when they box in their schedule. It's super simple. This week, if you're doing anything, kicking off the month, start 2 or more clients and make connections. That's literally how you do it. You don't need to conquer the world. You just need to help the next few people. So that's how it's done. Go help more. But lastly here, if you're like, okay, cool, this is all great information, but I don't really know how to do it. Basically, make your list and do 3, 3, and 3 every single week. 3 posts or something like that on Facebook, living out loud and being bold. Don't be salesy, don't be pitchy, just live out loud like you saw there. 3 friend requested it, expand your sphere of influence, whether it's someone you meet out and about and you add them, or you add them because you're connected on Facebook and you see friends that you're not friends with, or they're on your list and you realize they're not friends, and start 3 conversations. If you do this 3 times a day for the next 30 days, think about the connections, the consistency, and the additional people in your world. That's going to be literally our focus for these next few weeks, and we're going to move into next week with how to have a killer share call. Now that you know not to send information, not to send the website, not to do any of that weird stuff, because trust me, I had a call this week where someone was like, oh, this person sent back their food. Oh, cool, what happened? Oh, I sent them the website and they ordered without me talking to them. It happens every single time, or close to. If you don't talk to someone and get their why before you talk with them, before you explain the how before the what or before the why, then you're messing up the system. So be bold, take it to the phone, connect with people, connect. So with that being said, let's take it to connection this week. Have a great week, everybody. You've got the tools, you've got the setup, you've got the passion. Go out there and take the next steps in your business. We're going to log off here, but for those that want to learn more about the rewards trip, I'm going to be having an impromptu training in the Zoom room here in a few minutes. Have a great day, everybody, and thanks for all the tips in the chat.